Ice Sect. Origin of ice deity. Name, Nauli. Nauli worshippers first came from the far north, across the mountains and the great frozen sea. It is said that they started to worship Nauli in the hopes that she would protect him from the dangers of their homeland. As they started to worship the unknown being, they did not realize that a powerful guardian spirit had escaped from a frozen prison in the area. Their supplications drew the spirit, and it took the body of the top priestess. The priestess gained immortal life, and the spirit found a home in which to dwell. With the increased worship, the spirit could help protect the tribe until they could make it across the frozen ocean and mountains and reach civilization. Minor spells. Frostville, caster, companions are immune to ice, water attacks and cold. Duration is dice dependent. Ice, ability to throw ice or freeze targets in ice. Duration is dice dependent. Ice javelin, the caster throws a javelin of ice at the enemy. Duration is dice dependent. Ice wall, the caster makes a solid barrier of ice 4 feet wide and 6 feet tall to protect him, herself. This can be exploded at the enemy in a wall of ice shards at will. Duration is dice dependent. Acid, the caster can throw up to 4 balls of acid at the target per turn. Duration is dice dependent. Ice blade, caster calls forth a sword made of ice to fight with. Duration is dice dependent. The blade is magically hardened and freezes undead in the area where they are hit. Lotic waters, the target is swept away from the area on a wall of water. The target travels at least 100 feet. Snowshoe, the caster calls forth magic snowshoes that give him, her the ability to walk on snow and ice or to skate across them as if wearing skis. Duration is dice dependent. Hot steam, the caster shoots a burning hot blast of steam that scalds and burns all it hits. The blast lasted for 3 seconds. Mid-level spells. Turbidity, the air around the target becomes dark and fuzzy and the target can't see more than 10 feet in any direction. Duration is dice dependent. Ice javelin replication, the caster creates a quiver of ice javelins, up to 20, that can be thrown at the enemy. Duration is dice dependent. Seepage, the target can slip through a crack of any size. Duration is dice dependent. Giardiasis, the target receives a massive case of giardiasis and can't stop having massive diarrhea on the spot till they're healed. Effluent, the target is covered in cold human waste. Oxygen demand, the target area up to 20 feet has all the oxygen removed from it. Duration is dice dependent. Kilograms, the target's weight is increased to 1,000 kilograms. Duration is dice dependent. Icy razor wall caster calls forth a wall made of ice razors to stop an attacker, or to throw at an enemy with lifting. Duration is dice dependent. Bubble breath, cast a bubble of air around the head of the caster, companion so they can travel underwater for long distances. Duration is dice dependent. Water walk, allows caster, companion to walk on liquids. This could be water, fog, thin ice, or any unlit volatile substance. Duration is dice dependent. Killing cuticles, 5 small shards of ice fly at the target. These can penetrate armor and almost any non-magical surface. Acre-foot 325,851 gallons of freezing waterfall on the target. Desalination, the target loses all salt from their body, making them get lightheaded and collapse. Bedrock, the target's feet are planted to the ground, and they can't move. Duration is dice dependent. Body of frozen thorns, the caster grows large thorns made of ice, 3 feet long. These thorns are poisonous. Duration is dice dependent. Transpiration, all the target's water leaves the body and goes into the closest plants. Major spells. Condensation, the target's lungs fill with water, and they must hack it up or die or suffocate. Pancreatic freeze, the caster causes the target's pancreas to feel frozen. Guardian ice, A ball of ice surrounds the caster, shooting small ice balls at nearby enemies and blocking incoming range attacks. Duration is dice dependent. Iceberg drop. The target has a 3-ton iceberg dropped on them. Water whip. A whip made of water is created to fight with. This has the power of an enchanted weapon. Duration is dice dependent. Leeching. The target loses all magic, including magic from magical items, and it is sent to the caster. Excess magic goes to the caster's companions until all are recharged. Any extra magic after that gets sent into the ground. Ice fields. Caster calls ice shards to explode from the ground in a radius. The size of the field is dependent on the strength of the caster. Duration is dice dependent. Erosion. The target's skin feels like it is melting off the body. Living snow. The caster causes the snow in an area to become a frozen beast with claws and fangs. 3 beasts can be created from any one area of snow, ice, or water. Duration is dice dependent. Ice elemental. Caster calls forth a being made of ice to attack the enemies. Duration is dice dependent. Frozen body. The target is instantly frozen in a block of ice. Duration is dice dependent. Freeze cells. The water in the target's cells freezes solid, thus incapacitating the target, and if they do not get healing, they will die in 4 turns. Freezing mist. Caster calls forth a mist that freezes all that it touches. The size of the mist is dependent on the strength of the caster. Extract water. The caster pulls all the water out of the target. Ice storm. The caster calls forth a massive ice storm to destroy an area. Caster's companions will also die if they are in the storm radius. Ice beast transformation. The target changes into an ice monstrosity, being able to use all types of ice attacks, control any water or ice in the area, and instantly travel between any points of water or ice that can be seen. Duration is dice dependent. In this form, the target is only hurt by magic weapons and spells.